Good morning, everyone. Today we begin the third book of the Torah, which is Vayikra, and God called Moses. And this book of Leviticus is about the divine service. And it begins with the word, and God called Moses. But remarkably, the last letter of the word Vayikra is written with a miniature small aleph. You see, back in the Torah, we have larger and smaller fonts that convey different meanings, just like today we make minimized or enlarged fonts. And the question is, why did God write the word Vayikra, and he called Moses with a small aleph at the end of the word Vayikra? And while there are many answers to this question, one answer perhaps is that what God is telling us is that it's not only Moses that was called. You see, there's a vocation and a calling. A vocation is what you do professionally to earn a living. A calling is what you are summoned by God to do in this world. And just like God called Moses, every one of us has a spark of Moses implanted inside of us. And therefore, don't just think God spoke to Moses and called upon Moses. God calls each and every one of us, calls us to a special mission and purpose in this world. And the question is, how do you know your calling? You don't hear it. And the answer is the small letter aleph at the end of Vayikra. You see, as God told Elijah, the prophet, I am not in the storm, I am not in the earthquake, I am not in the fire, I am not in the loud noise, but I am found in the cold mamadaka, in the small, still, soft, silent voice. And therefore the small letter aleph says, if you want to hear God's voice to you personally, you have to listen to the inner voice of God. Every day God presents us with opportunities or even challenges. That is God's communication and conveyance to us. What is He asking of us to do? And therefore, just like Moses heard and responded to the call of God, every one of us must hear and respond to the call of God. Back in Russia, during the days of communism, there was a religious Jew. His name was Rabbi Furtefas. He was arrested and sent off to prison just for being Jewish. And one day he was sitting around with other prisoners, and they were bemoaning their fate. One said, I was a professor in university, and look at me now. The other one said, I was a successful business person, and now I'm in prison. The other one says, I was a famous musician. And then they turned to Mendel Furtefas, and he says, I am still doing the same thing I did before I went to prison. And they looked at him like he's crazy. Like, what do you mean you're doing the same thing? Were you doing nothing with your life before you were in prison? And he said, no, I actually have a wife and children. I miss them very much. I had a successful business as well. He said, however, before I was arrested, I was a servant of God. And now that I'm in prison, I'm still a servant of God. So I'm doing the exact same thing I always did. Maybe the circumstances changed, but my calling, my mission, my purpose every day to get up and say, what does God want me to do right now, right here, today, in these circumstances that I find myself in? Maybe the hardware changed, but the software is the same. Vayikra Moshe, God calls not just Moses, but every one of us. We just have to listen to what God is summoning us and requesting us to do in our lives. Have a wonderful day.